We are lucky to have one of those pilots who participated in that battle, Captain Ken Glass, with us tonight. An Iowa farm boy, Ken enlisted immediately after Pearl Harbor. He competed to get into the flight program and did. And on his first training flight, he experienced his first airplane ride. A handful of hours and 8 carrier landings later in the Great Lakes Line, Ken was on his way to training in the growing adventure, and he would be part of the battle of the Philippine Sea. Lieutenant J.G. Ken Glass was assigned to Torpedo Squadron 2 above the USS Hornet, and it was sortie in the spring of 1944. Now, this wasn't the same Hornet, the CD-8 that I described in the Battle of Midway. This was actually the converted Kearsarge CD-12, and we're honored to have some of the survivors and veterans of the USS Hornet with us tonight. And if you get a chance, please go see their display over to my left. He flew as a skipper's wingman and participated in the Hornet air wing attacks in Saipan and Tinian in the opening days on the battles of the Marianas. The taking the Marianas would not go uncontested by the Japanese. And so after nearly 2 years, the Japanese fleet finally came out of hiding. And this was the hiding that was forced on them by the Battle of Midway. They sent 9 carriers and numerous escorts to contest the Marine landing. To counter this attack, the Americans met them with 15 aircraft carriers and over 900 aircraft, included among them over 200 TDF and TDM Avengers. Back up a second. So what this depicts here is on June 19th, in the Great Marianas Turkey Shoot, Hellcats and Wildcats from the task force destroyed over 350 attacking Japanese aircraft. And having crippled the Japanese air defenses, Admiral Misher wanted to complete the victory with the destruction of the Japanese fleet. For most of the day on June 20th, 1944, long-range reconnaissance aircraft searched for the fleet. An Avenger pilot from the USS Enterprise found Admiral Ozawa's force late in the afternoon. The order was given: man your aircraft, launch the strikes. Distance to the Japanese fleet over 275 miles. There was little chance of the attacking aircraft in the U.S. fleet could transit, attack, defend, and return safely. Mark the gravity of my words, they were not coming back. There was not enough light or fuel, and that is the cold calculus of combat. 227 planes were launched, including 54 Avengers. And sitting in the ready room of the USS Hornet as part of the second wave of those strike aircraft was Lieutenant J.G. Glass of Torpedo Squadron 2. There he is with his face circled in red. Ultimately, the second wave would be canceled by the Admiral, and we now understand the reasons why. The first wave was not recalled and didn't press on. The U.S. forces arrived overhead the Japanese fleet just before sunset. Brushing aside a weak fighter cover of only 75 Japanese aircraft, Avengers and Dauntless dive bombers attacked with bombs, torpedoes, and even drove in close with their guns. Avengers from the USS Bellwood placed 2 torpedoes into the hull of the Japanese carrier Hiyo, and it quickly sank. This is the only known surviving photo that was taken that night, and the reason it's so poor is because the sun is set. The real battle had actually only just begun. U.S. Navy pilots low on fuel, some with crippled aircraft like the one you see here, and many more suffering wounds, flew back to the darkened forest. Risking his fleet, Mitchell ordered that the lights be turned on in the carriers. And of the 227 aircraft that launched, only 115 would safely land aboard. Many others were ditched, out of fuel, or unable to land at night on the carriers. Many were picked up by destroyers, but some were lost at sea. But the U.S. Navy had established undeniable superiority. There's something about this photo that really speaks to those events on the night of June 20th. This is a picture of Lieutenant Don Yip, who was one of the 57 Avenger pilots who launched on the strike, and one of the few who returned safely. He gets to shot medicinal brandy, he gets to tell the story, but the exhaustion is apparent, but so is the victory. The mission that he was given that night was 3 words: get the carriers, and the Avengers and the Navy pilots did it. So after the Marianas, the USS Hornet and its crew of naval aviators, including Ken, would support the Lake landings and participate in the Second Battle of the Philippine Sea. Hornet aviators would bomb the Marshall Islands, Iwo Jima, Okinawa, and later launched raids into Tokyo. Ken himself would fly over 35 combat missions and complete over 35 carrier landings. And his naval career did not end there. Lieutenant J.G. Glass would eventually be promoted to captain, serving as Navy for over 30 years and earning many awards and distinctions. He flew many types of naval aircraft, including the Hellcat, F-40 Corsair, and even the 81 Skyraider. That's Ken to the right with his Avenger crew. There's no possible way in a single night to describe all of the experiences World War II and beyond that Ken lived through. From combat to water ditchings to losing close friends and watching kamikazes nearly avoid the Hornet superstructure. Ken, we wonder what it must have been like to be no more than 2 years off the farm in Iowa, waiting the return of your skipper that night of June 20th, and for the squadron mates that you waited upon as well. Your life and example bear the mark of a true naval aviator, with the simple clarity of purpose and the strength that was underlined on the radio chalkboard that night. Get the carriers. You did, and you won the war. And you have forever earned our admiration and respect. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Ken Glass.